Hey, what's going on, party people? Hopefully, you guys should be able to hear me. Let me get a little bit closer. How's everyone doing out there? Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. Now, if now if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a great pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of Lespri. I am a spiritual healer, and essentially, what I do as a spiritual healer is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. But ultimately, what this is saying is I help you to become Christ like. I help you to attain your highest level of consciousness. That's what I do essentially as a spiritual healer. So when we talk about being Christ like, what that simply means, it means that you are attaining your highest level of self knowledge. You really get to know the truth. You have the ability to see beyond the veil, and that entails you knowing who you are. Now, and the way that I go about doing that pretty much is that I help you to become mentally and emotionally balanced. Because the minute you become one sided, let's just say, I mean, the reason why this is important because we all know, if you're not emotionally balanced, it will have a direct impact on how you see things. For instance, when we say someone is being too emotional, we also understand their emotion is clouding their visions, meaning, they don't see things clearly. And you can also obviously see it. That's why you would say such and such was is being emotional. And the same thing also goes, let's just say, if you're saying now, okay, then your emotions could make you weak. You could say all these things. We all know it, right? To a certain extent. Then now, it's all about being practical, and your practicality means, to be logical and to suppress your emotions. The minute you do that, well, there you go again. I mean, that's the foundation for toxicity. You know what I'm saying? Then you become very rigid. You're not really in touch or in tune with other people because we are emotional beings. Emotional and intellectual I mean, beings. Like, you can't, neglect or suppress or have one over the other. The minute you do, you don't get to see things clearly. And especially, there is such a thing called as emotional intelligence. When you use a little bit of emotions and you add it to your intellect, it allows it, it expands it. The whole, if you guys could make the connection with the whole Jesus, when Jesus said, whoever, I mean, whichever one of you guys, who's without sin, that was him tapping into their emotions to help them see a little more than just the law. And when you add that emotions into it, it allows you to make a better connection with people. That's why nowadays, and people understand, the importance of emotional intelligence. So, and only when you get there, because the whole spiritual or attaining your highest level of, or becoming Christ-like, you have to become emotionally intelligent. That's pretty much what that is. Now you have the ability to see the full picture, not just beats into pieces. Because if you don't get the full picture, you won't even understand the little. I mean, the small portion of it. you know, and to understand anything anyway, is to look at it from different angles too. It's to under, over, side, whatever the fuck. But anyway, so so I help you. So technically, I like to use this, the mirror of wisdom, meaning I'm allowing you, like, with the knowledge, with and then we're gonna be talking about some shit tonight anyway. Oh man, I feel like I'm on one already. I'm on one. So I prefer to call it the mirror of wisdom, because truly what I'm doing to you here, or this whole conversation, is allow you to see you from beyond the veil. And here's something else too. That's why for me this speaks for itself. This is not about convincing you. I mean, if you in touch with it, if you of it, if it makes sense to you, then you know. It's no political shit. The truth is the truth. Knowing who you are is knowing who you are. And being, doing the political bullshit, well, I mean, that's that. That's just that. And again, you're gonna have to ask yourself, you know, what the fuck are you about? But anyway, as a spiritual healer, essentially, that's pretty much what I do, right? And obviously, we talked about being emotionally and mentally balanced. Now, the way that I go about that, I help you to understand what your emotions are. First, let me say what I mean by being emotionally balanced. It's definitely not, how people say not to raise your voice or to act a certain way or, to be good, I guess. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. In fact, whenever you see that kind of shit, trust and believe. Toxicity is all around it. As you guys could see, always the motherfuckers that the Bill Cosby niggas making the will and all that shit. It's always these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Who do shit a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But have no fear. But the guy who acknowledged his emotions. So I'm saying that to say, when it comes to become emotionally balanced, it's not to behave a certain way. It's not deceiving others. Because when not to raise your voice or fuck all that shit. Sometimes you may need to raise your voice if that's what has to be done. Who the fuck gives a fuck? Sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker know. But you're not doing it from a place of you, let's just say, being triggered or being manipulated. But this is just me letting you know. You don't add up over here. So you're in the wrong hood. You know what I'm saying? Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are, stranger? I don't think you do. But you're gonna find out. We all gonna find out. But anyway, going back to being emotionally balanced, and then you'll see these people, in fact, they do express themselves. And then you also understand there's no specific ways to express yourself. You express it however is convenient to you. Some people say niggas, other people don't say niggas. Me, shit. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But I give a whole lot of fuck at the same time. So being emotionally balanced really has to do with you understanding your own emotions, being in touch with your emotions. Understand when you feel a certain way, the message that's why sometimes it would tell you, you know, uh, 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 how do you feel? What does that make you feel like? Do you see what I'm saying? If you go see a shrink, that whole process or aspect is to help you to have a better understanding of your own feelings. And being emotionally balanced, that's the whole thing. That's the gist of it. So it's to understand what your emotions are and the messages that is being relayed in those emotions. And now once you have that understanding, to have the ability now to transmute, meaning to change it. You dancing with it. You making it make sense. You're you just got to put logic into it. In other words, this is you realigning the emotion or the message that's being relayed. You making it make sense to you in a way that's beneficial to your growth. So to be emotionally, that's what I help you with. And pretty much that's what this shit is all about. And now having that emotions in alignment, then now, it helps you to have your mental clarity is gonna go on a whole different level now. But anyway, now when I'm talking about helping you to become mentally balanced, what the fuck? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So now, when I'm also talking about being mentally balanced, it's pretty much the baseline understanding. You have to understand how your mind works. I mean, that is your business, isn't it? Your mind, motherfucker. Like, whose mind is it? You know what I'm saying? So that's where being a little more conscious is important. And you understanding that is making you more conscious of you. That's why this whole purpose of this knowledge is for you to wake up. My purpose is to help you now through the lens, through the mirror of wisdom, for you to see you. Just showing you the door or giving you the sight. That's how we're doing miracles over here. You understand? We're giving sights to the blinds, a better perspective, a better way of looking at life, to no longer be lost, to know, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.